What's good, partners? My name is Otis Funkmeyer, and this is Tick Tick Pop. And I woke up one morning, surprisingly, to a message from J-Rock. He said, "For your consideration, here's my most recent battle." And I was like, oh, shit. Because it's still hard for me to believe. Maybe it's because I have low self-esteem or something, but it's hard for me to believe anybody gives a shit what I think, right? So it makes me feel really good that you guys care. It really is a real boost to my self-confidence, and I really appreciate it. And it's versus Katalyst, who's the homie. I feel like I was one of the very first people ever, Kunle, to be like, dude, this Katalyst dude is dope, back when he was living in Atlanta before Harvard. Before being a doctor. I don't even know if you became a doctor. Pre-med at Harvard. This bitch Katalyst was pre-med at Harvard. I used to go kick it with him when I was hanging out with Onion and Believe. What up, Brian? How's Samsung? So, yeah, I remember seeing Katalyst way back when. And I'm going to tell you a funny story about me and Katalyst battled once at the Slaughterhouse, which was a practice session that Domino and Shallow threw in Boston, and I have a really funny story about that after. But one good thing I want to say is I remember this made me feel so good. There was a period of time in 2005, 2006 where, in my opinion, at least on the East Coast, Oba was the best. I don't know if you guys know Oba. Look him up, OBA. I was just like, dude, Oba is ill as shit. And we all got down at Harvard one weekend, and we were at some Harvard dorm party. And I remember It Ain't No Fun, the Snoop Dogg song, came on, and we were all getting down. I was getting down kind of hard. And Onion and Katalyst were like, yo, dude, I think you could take Oba. And I was like, yeah, right. But it made me feel good. I remember 10 years later, I was like, wow, they think I could beat Oba. That's amazing. I don't think anybody can beat Oba. So I know J-Rock really well, and I'm going to tell both of you, and I know Katalyst pretty well too. I mean, we haven't seen each other in hella long, but I'm a very honest person. I hope that's why J-Rock sent this to me, and I'm going to go maybe extra hard on both of you because I really want the homies to be the best in the world. That's my bias, and so I'm going to point out what I see that I think could be improved upon. But I will also point out what I think is dope. So Katalyst has always had, I think he could have a harder hit. Dude, this is a whack beat. This is such a whack beat. Why would you do this? I mean, this is pretty good. This is actually very good for J-Rock because this is really style. This is active Scarecrow. I think your posture could be a lot better, Katalyst. Your upper back, your shoulders are kind of rounded forward, and I think it kind of takes away a bit from your whole style. And that stuff I think would be improved if your upper back was straighter. And I think you should look into foam rolling your lats and your shoulders. Okay, wow, J-Rock looks good. Okay, J-Rock, I don't think this suit is doing anything for you with Scarecrow style, personally. That, I think those are weird looking things. And that, right? The fact, the shoulder pads or whatever. But, cool. And the control is super good. And that's all good. Let's see. I've always, let's see. You know what? There's a tutorial that Bionic does about single leg rolls. I can't remember what he calls it, but he talks about how you shouldn't stick your butt out. You should figure out a way to arch your hips so that your butt doesn't go up. So watch right there. See, your butt goes up. I think this move would look better if it didn't. Also, you don't finish it, right? And that's what Biani says. He says that happens a lot. That could have been cooler, I think, if it had finished, right? So you go into the roll and then finish it with the left leg. And you notice your left leg isn't rolling out in the same way that your right leg is. And that roll is a little awkward. There, the transition to the chest and the way that your left shoulder doesn't. I think more shoulder isolation. I actually think for you, shoulder isolation could be like the thing. Like watch James painting. He has a tutorial. I think that would do, like, that would be a huge thing. If you had the shoulder isolation of somebody like James painting, I think it'd be crazy. This sucks though, because these beats are so whack. And I also think that suit in particular disguised your style a little bit. It also added a lot. So I don't know, just something to think about. God, more beats I don't like anyway. God, these fucking DJs, man. These are like boogaloo dancers. You know? But look, Katalyst can, the good thing about him, he can dance. He's a good dancer. That seemed a little ahead of the music a little bit. And I think that your arm hits could use quite a bit of work, Katalyst. I think I've always felt that way. And also your neck hit. Like, I'm not super into this, but I like it, and that's a lot like the first round too. I feel like more variation here would be really good. And look, and J-Rock, I like how you come at him. J-Rock coming hard, good. I feel like, so Jay, I feel like that, if you had separated that a little more, because it's super dope, like right there is super dope, right? And right there, if the legs had stayed behind a little bit more, I think that J-Rock, you could be the master of bottom first twistos. I think it suits your style so well. And the Cobra, I don't know. I think you need more shoulder isolation, man. That's cool. That's a little like house dance thing, a little shuffle. This is all pretty cool. I like the experimental aspect of it. I don't think your clothes really help with the waving, the style of waving that you do. This might be some of the worst music that I've heard in any battle I've commentated. This song could end up being kind of good, but it's like it's not giving him anything. It's just God, this is fucking garbage. Is this because it's Yak Films? And they're like flexors or something? And then the crowd is like not into this at all. There's like no, at least the mic is not picking it up. See, like all of that, Kunle, I feel like it needs more muscle control if you're gonna do this kind of style. That's what I personally think. It needs to be more tense. And then this rounded shoulder thing is happening right here. Right? So there's like tight hips going on. I think you need to foam roll the shit out of your quads and your TFL and your shoulders and your lats. I think a lot of foam rolling, bro. Win a lacrosse ball. And I know this because I am this as well. I also think both of you guys are going too fast, but it seems anyway, like such a weird environment. Now that was tight. That's exactly what I was talking about with Bionic. I think you should just apply that more. And this is all cool, but I've always said to you, J-Rock, much like Green Tech, I think you're doper when you're most chilled out. Like when I see you at the club and we're just like vibing, that's when I've always seen you kill it hardest. So I think you have a battle persona that is good. Like all this shit is tight, but I don't think it's as effective as it could be. What is it? Now the announcer's gonna. Yeah, I give that absolutely to J-Rock. Sorry I didn't say anything, but absolutely. I feel like the maturity, there's a huge difference in the level of maturity in this dancing. And I think the things, I'm going to start just talking about the things that stand out to me. The things that stand out to me positively about J-Rock are the dime stops and the clarity of movement and the feeling of like this person has control, and also the real separation of the body. Lots of different twistos and lots of footwork that involves isolating various parts of the body while the feet move, that I think is all dope. I think slowing down and demonstrating more personalities, I think that's the main thing. That's a thing that I've seen for a long time. And I'm going to throw Todd under the bus and say that, you know, we've talked about this many times, that like the battle persona of J-Rock is only one persona. And I think that adding in different personas, like I remember one time I had you imitate Stiga, and it was some of the best dancing I had ever seen you do. And it was like this chilled out French guy thing. So I think that one thing you might want to try is to go in with different, like, almost like clowning. Like, and Tim, I think Tim Animatronics can speak to this too, and will vouch for this, that like times we've seen you clown things, like clown studio dancers, clown locking, is some of the best dancing we've ever seen you do, because you have so much freedom and joy, and I don't think there's a tremendous amount of joy on display in this battle. So something to think about. You know, I don't really enter battles, and like I choke a lot when I battle, so you know, like who am I to say, but that's just what I see. And for Katalyst, the thing that sticks out to me is it's really dope, Scarecrow style. I think I really would like to have seen more neck rolls, like head rolls, because I think it would have gone super well with that style. And I think that the variation could have been dramatically increased. It was kind of like 1 round for 3 rounds. Again, I don't want to judge this too harshly, because I think that was probably the wackest music of anything I've commentated on the entire channel. And I think of both of you guys as being such music heads and like dancers, like in your souls, that's really hard. It's sort of unfair. You sort of dicked me over, J-Rock, having me commentate this with such shitty music. But anyway, I guess the good part is shitty music can sometimes bring out your flaws more, or like it can just see like this is you not at your best, and so it can help like show things. So but the main thing that I see with Katalyst is I mean, I'm exaggerating, but is the rounding of the shoulders. So I would say the more you can like foam roll and put the lacrosse ball on that bitch and like just break up the fascia so that you can loosen your neck and get your posture right. I actually would highly recommend, I did a posture assessment with this dude who has a YouTube channel called Gorilla Zen Fitness. If you do this, it's like $50 and you can tell him Otis sent you, and then that I would be really happy, because I bet he'd like it. He'd be like, oh dude, Otis is the shit, and that would make me happy. But it was really good. His name is Blake, and he has you take pictures of yourself, and he assesses your posture. And because I mean, you went to fucking Harvard, bro. You're a really analytical person. I think that you could really gain a tremendous amount for just $50, dude. It's really, like, in the scheme of things, it's like free. So that's what I think. I really want to do something with both of you that I really like you guys at your best, to good music with a good crowd and stuff. Like, I remember one of the things I really liked of J-Rock recently was like not that recently, was the prelim he did where he was in the same thing as Kite. I don't remember what it was, but anywho, oh yeah, my story. Okay, so dude, this is some ill shit. This is like, oof. So I battled Kunle Katalyst at this place called Slaughterhouse in Boston, and I didn't feel like I did really well, and I didn't feel like he did super well. And I don't think, like, I kind of blame it on myself. Maybe this is more like low self-esteem shit, but I was like, I don't feel like I really went off, and I don't think I really inspired him to really go off, and I felt kind of bad about it. And so they have everybody give like who they thought won, right? and let's say it was like 7 people, right? And the 5 kids, like the kids our age, all thought he won. And Shallow and Megatron said I won. And that was interesting. Like, I didn't really know what to think of them. They're like, damn, Otis, you dance like an OG. And I was like, is that good? I don't know. He's like, yeah, man, if we took you to the club, black people would be like, wow, you dance good, brother. And I was like, yay, black people love me. I remember this. It was really funny. So anyway, that's all just a prelim to the story. So we finish, and there's this girl there. Katalyst may, if he chimes in on this commentary in the comments, he may actually know who this girl is. I only met her that one time. But she was there. It was like Onion and Jedi, and all these other Boston kids. And this girl was like, we had this group battle. And at the end of it, she came up to me and she's like, oh my God, I'm so glad you were there. All those other guys are so good. And I was just so happy that there was another beginner like me. And I was like, oh, that was like the worst thing that ever happened to me, because it's like, it was like her doing a commentary on me. Do you know what I mean? It was like, she didn't know anything. She didn't know I have, in my own mind, some kind of rep. She didn't know I've been dancing longer than any of the other people there. Like, none of that. And she was just like, and I just being the kind of like low self-esteem person I can be, I wasn't like, bitch, you know who the fuck I am? Like, channel my inner Kid Boogie. I was like, oh, thank you. And was just like, oh my fucking God, this sucks so bad. And I just ate it, and it swelled up and consumed me. Not really, but I tell you, so for anybody who has gone through hard times, I tell you, I've gone through some hard times of being critiqued by people in a way that like is so painful. It's like so crazy painful. So anyway, that's my story. I think that's enough. Salute to you guys. J-Rock, so much respect that you would even care what I think. It really makes me feel good. And I will check you guys soon. Peace.